Hello everyone, Julia Sheehan here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Today I'd like to do this little card with you. It's very easy card to do. It's a monochromatic card, but it's a very effective card, I think, and I like the old-fashioned sort of style it has to it. So this is the one that I wanted to do today. And I know I did say that I would leave Good Morning Magnolia alone for a little bit, but it did sort of get into this card. But the main focus of this card is this beautiful woven Heirlooms stamp set. Well, actually everything, because I ordered everything to go with it. So I'm using this stamp, and this stamp today. I could have put either one of these sentiments in there, but I decided to do the Magnolia just so I could use the card. There was a few people that I wanted to send a card to that I was thinking of, so I decided to do that. The other thing that I used, obviously, is the Good Morning Magnolia, and I did use the Thinking of You from here as well, and I love that font, so it's really lovely. And then, of course, I used the Heirloom frame dies, and I'm using the oval, but of course it does come with the rectangle as well, so I'm using that. And then the other thing I'm using are these beautiful embossing folders, and I'm using the oval embossing folder from this one today. So what we're going to do is get started on the front of the card first. You need obviously your base card, 8 1/4 inches by 5 7/8 of an inch, and I'm doing it all in rich razzleberry. So everything is rich razzleberry, so it's all stamped in that as well. Then you need your piece of Whisper White for the front, and I'm using the thick cardstock for the front of my card, and that is 5 6/8 of an inch by 4 inches. And then just another piece for the inside of the card, just the same size, 5 6/8 of an inch by 4 inches. Okay, now the other thing you need is just a piece of Whisper White, and I again am using the thick cardstock for the frame. Now I have already cut out the frame, and so it just comes out of your die like this, and it's a very easy die to put through. So just to save some time, I've already done it. Now there's a piece that comes out of the middle here. Now you can put it aside and use it for anything you want to, you know, to add to another card. But there was a lady on YouTube, and for the life of me I can't remember her name, but if I do remember it, I will give her credit for what the tip she gave. But she took the inside oval out of this card and she stuck it in her embossing folder. So this is the embossing folder, and then I've just put mine in with 2 glue dots. Excuse me. And the reason that she did this was it made it easier to line up the oval so that you were directly on where you want it to be. Because if you put it over here, it doesn't sort of sit down into that groove. You've got to sort of just place it there, and this actually works really, really well. So you just line it up over that, and then you know that you're on the right track. And then when you close this over, it's really well centered onto your embossing folder. And so then you just run that through on your Big Shot, and it comes out like that. And it is the most beautiful, beautiful frame. It's got its dimension there, so it's just gorgeous. So, having done that, I'll just grab a scrap piece of paper, put that down. What I'm going to do next is just get my rich razzleberry ink and a sponge, and I'm just going to lightly go over the frame, so it's going to pick up all the beautiful ornate work that's part of this beautiful embossed shape. And just do that as much or as little as you like. You can either do it like very pale like that, or bring out a bit more colour in it. It's entirely up to you, whatever the occasion warrants. But I really love this, and I love the colour. It's just beautiful. I better not do that onto the card. There was a colour we had in the catalogue a long time ago. It's now retired. Sweet Sugar Plum it was, and I really liked doing that sort of older style of card with that colour too, because you get those beautiful sort of like old-fashioned mushroomy pink colours and things, and I just think they're lovely. Okay, so I'll just do that just a little bit darker. And then what I did also is, once I'd got that done, I just went around the edges with a bit extra, because you've got like this dip in it because it's dimension, and I just liked it a little bit darker. And not only did I do the outside, I also decided to do the inside of it too. So I did in there. That's so quick and easy to do. It just gives it that nice like dark colour in there as well. There we go. And that'll do me. If I want to touch anything up later, I can. Now, I'll just do the front of the card now. And then if I do like I did the other night, I ended up sticking my finger in the ink and getting it all over the place, but these things happen. It was covered up. Now, the first thing is this gorgeous little stamp, and all I'm going to do with that is put it in each of the corners. Just like that. How beautiful is that? There we go. And there. Okay, and then I used... Where's my little one? Oh, there it is. This gorgeous little one. And I'm just going to pull that down a bit so I didn't get it perfectly centered the other night because I was just a little bit off. Just going to move that too. And see, this, by doing this, this is where I get the ink all over my fingers. So, not such a smart move, I suppose, but anyway. One there, and then one at the other end. About there. Okay, then I got this little one, and just, I don't want it full colour, so I just stamped it all around over everything on the edges of the card. And at this present time it probably looks very, very messy, but it does come together okay. And it doesn't matter if you accidentally maybe put a dark one in there, because it's just to give it like an old-fashioned look. You can do it as quick, and it's one of those things where you don't have to really worry about what you're doing. And that's all I did with it. Just random, very random bits like that. Okay, Now, then I got my sponge again, and I'm just going to just clip that little corner off because I know I'll end up sticking it in the ink. So I'll get rid of it so it doesn't bother me. And then I just very lightly just go over all of that. Well, I say very lightly, I mean you can do it dark or light, it doesn't really matter. And then all those lovely bits that you've just put on there all start to really show up and blend in as well. Isn't this just the most beautiful colour? And then once you've done this, if you sort of think, oh, it's looking a bit pale there, I might add in just a bit more of the ink. You can do that. That's what I like about cards like this. You can touch them up. It's like that gold one I did the other week with the Good Morning Magnolia. You know, if you're not satisfied with just quite how the gold comes up, and the same with this, you can just fiddle with it. Okay, next step. All right, we're going to get our frame that we've done, and we're just going to glue it onto here. Now, there's just a very narrow, as you can see, raised edge here. And that's where I'm putting my glue, all the way around there. And that will be enough for it to stay glued down, because you don't want to squash this down, otherwise you lose all the dimension. So you just need to put it on to the very edge lip there. There's enough surface there that it holds well. Okay, so just that's about where I want it. And then just press that down. Just around the edges. That's the way. You can see how quickly this card comes together. It's amazingly quick. Okay, so that's done. Now for the center of the card, I'm going to get that oval that comes out of the middle of this cutout, and I'm going to stamp on it. And I might do the sentiment first. I've just got to swap it over on this block. And that means I've then got to try and get it straight again. I had it nicely straightened up the other day, and then I took it off again and messed it up. So I'll just test it out here. So it's a little tilted, maybe just a fraction. So I might have to just... I always test everything out. Yep, that'll do. I always test everything out as best I can to get it straight. Now, another good way, and I hope this won't cause too much glare. Oh, it's going to do that horrible thing. I've laminated my grid paper to allow me to not waste it as much. You know, I can wipe it off and use it again, but if it's going to, I think, glare up too much. So hopefully I'll get this as straight as I can here. That looks fairly straight. Just have to hope that I've got that on a good angle. And I'm just going to raise that side slightly. And hopefully that's fairly straight. And then I'm going to pop this lovely Magnolia just up the top. I absolutely love this Magnolia. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Just such a beautiful stamp. I can't believe I was not going to get it. I just sort of thought, no, I've got flowers and things, but I've done so much with it since I got it. Anyway, before I put this on the card, I'm just going to do the edges. I don't want to do across the card. Obviously, that's just going to be too much. But by doing the edges, they blend into the edge you've already done, so you don't get any sort of like stark white. And that's all I'm going to do to it, so it's only very lightly. I think you can see it there enough. It's just lightly done. And then I'm just going to put my glue in there, because it's just as easy, and then set this in the center. Because I'm doing it on camera, I'm shaking a bit, my hands. Oh, up we go. Lucky I've got that wiggle room on that glue. I think I've got that fairly straight though. Okay, so there's that. There's the front of the card, all done, ready to be put on. So then we can just glue that to the front of the card. I mean, you can do the oval once you've already put this onto the card, but I'm one of those people that sort of worries that something's going to go wrong before I get it all finished. So I tend to wait off until I've done it all. There we go. And I can press down in the middle there, because that's down past the frame. And there we go. So there's the front. Then for the inside, I did the little, just this little one. I just thought that was enough for it. So I went round each of the corners again. I really love this little stamp. It's so cute. It's just such a tiny one in there, but it's absolutely beautiful. And it stamps so well every time. And then, and hopefully not too much ink on my thumb, I did the edges. Just going for that old-fashioned look again. Try and keep my thumb off it. Easier said than done with me. Now see, I've got a little smudge out there, but I don't think that actually matters, because if you look at anything that's got old-fashioned, I mean, I might even put a little bit extra across there just to balance that off, because it gives it that, you know, the creeping in of age along the side of it. So I don't think it matters at all. And I'm just going to pop that inside my card. How quick and easy is this card to put together? It's just amazing how fast it comes together. And this set, this Woven Heirlooms set, is absolutely beautiful. I'm doing some stuff for my daughter, which hopefully she doesn't watch this, so she doesn't know about it, but I'm thinking of using part of this as in part of something that I want to do for her wedding. So there we go. There we are. That's it. That's the card. That's my very straightforward, old-fashioned looking, monochromatic, rich razzleberry card using Woven Heirlooms and a little bit of the Good Morning Magnolia, and it just turns into such a lovely card. And you can see that I've done this one lighter, this one I did a bit darker, another one I did the other day is sort of along the same colour lines as that one. So as you can see, you can just do anything with it. It doesn't matter how dark, how light, just doesn't matter. Anyway, that's it from me. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you would like to and you're enjoying what I'm doing, I'd love you to subscribe. Turn on the little bell so that you get notified. I do a card every week, and I also do that on Facebook as well. And a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated, or if there's anything you'd like me to do, please just pop a note in there and I'll be happy to source or find out or do whatever anybody would be interested in. Anyway, everyone, have a fantastic week and weekend, and I'll see you all again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.